Now we are going to start our main program. I am sure that we all will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this event. Now, I would request our Secretary Gabesu to introduce our honorable speaker, Ms. Shumita Dotto Nag, Madam.
Good afternoon to you all, to my teacher, Professor Anandaman Ghosh, Professor Alok Das, Dean IRA, Professor Devashish Dotto, HOD of Electrical, Professor Anindita Sengupta, my other professors, senior and junior alumni and students. This has really become a high voltage gathering, so non-electricals should little bit be beware. It's a privilege for me to introduce Ms. Sumita Dattanag, Chief General Manager of DVC, for this first lecture of Legend and Legacy series in the memory of our teacher and alumni of this institute, ex-professor and HOD of Electrical Department of BEC, ex-Vice Chancellor of Jadavpur and ex-Power Minister of Government of West Bengal, Professor Dr. Shankar Kumar Sen. Actually, when I proposed her name for this lecture, I requested Madam HOD Electrical to assign this job to me. And she very kindly obliged. Sumita is my classmate, so I took this chance of talking about her. Sumita Dotto at that time, she passed out of Bengal Engineering College from this electrical department in 1987. And she's one with whom I have regular contact all through this last 41 years, even before this mobile and email came into picture. She started her career in a microprocessor-based firm for a short term and then shifted to DVC in May 1988. Initially, she was in Central Testing Laboratory of DVC in Mython, where she used to handle system studies, fault evaluations, protection of entire DVC systems. For more than 2 decades, she was involved in DVC modernization of power systems, including substations and power system protections. She has participated in various substation projects starting from conceptual stage up to commissioning. She has also contributed to various technical journals, including CBIP. In later stage, she has also worked in various managerial capacities in various DVC departments, including HR, commercial, corporate planning, and secretariat. However, for me, the most important thing is that as a woman professional, she has managed over so many years, not only her professional work front, but also her family commitments, raising a child without withstanding the social pressure of a working technical professional in today's social environment. Incidentally, her family, immediate family also includes 4 more BC alumni, her husband, her son, daughter-in-law, and his brother-in-law. So I welcome Sumita to come over here and give the lecture. Thank you.
পাওয়ার পয়েন্ট দিয়ে মানে আমাদের রুম দিয়ে দেখাতে চান নাকি এমনি রুম দিয়ে দেখাতে কোথায়
Respected Professor AMG sir, respected other seniors in B College, respected Madam HOD of Electrical Engineering Department, IIST, sorry, and Gabesu office bearers present here, and my dear students. So, I cannot express my feeling today. First I was, when I was listening to thank you. When I was listening to the previous speakers, especially Professor AMG sir, so I thought maybe God is there. So I have been present in this today's program in this institute, my alma mater. But when I was introduced, I was not feeling so well. And I was wishing the Dr. AMG continues for a longer time. It was really a good time to hear about the stories of Dr. Sen and Professor AMG. My deepest gratitude and most humble regards in memory of respected Dr. S.K. Sen. It is my great honor and privilege today, one of my greatest day and gifted day today, it seems, that I am present here while all of us are paying tribute to none other than our revered Dr. S.K. Sen, the name we utter with absolute sense of pride to be associated with and to be blessed by. It's truly special to be able to honor and reflect on the contributions of someone who has always been perceived as the epitome of knowledge, discipline, and dedication to the society, whom we had the privilege of experiencing so closely and are humbled to be inspired by such a great persona. He was, in fact, a phenomenon by himself, starting from his style and quality of teaching to his entire role as our guardian for the 3 years when Dr. Sen had been our head of the department, electrical engineering. There is no doubt that Dr. Sen had a profound impact on most of our contemporaries who are pursuing different fields of electrical engineering as their career. So I could not avoid saying these few words about the today's first S.K. Sen Memorial Lecture. Coming to today's topic, I am not a speaker at all, actually. I am an ardent worker, you can say, but and I'm associated with the industry, power industry, for a very long time, more than 35 years. But the technical experience is now past for me. Now, as I am handling only administrative jobs for several years. But still, I would, as I have come here, as I have been invited, and I have been so much honored today. I cannot forget this day throughout my life. So I will try to some words for the students especially. About my, a little bit about my experience, because recently I was not so well, so preparation is not my best. Okay. My topic today is overview of design of a great substation. It's nothing, not a very contemporary topic, but as we all know, that electricity is the one thing that human civilization asks for as the if one thing we need for civilization, so electricity. So and the demand as a growing nation, our demand is only increasing, at least in India. So there is a huge growth of demand now. And in spite of having the renewable and non-renewable things, for some years, the non-renewable will continue in India at least, becoming coal-rich and other factors, especially the base load throughout the day we have to maintain. So we have, but as electrical engineers, we have as a core electrical engineers, we have the duty to do more to improve the grid, actually. So by grid, we mean what is an interconnection between several components or several networks of the power system. So it can be a local grid to which the generating stations are connected, transmission lines are connected, and the substations are also connected. So the several substations will be there. It may be levels, but today we are discussing only a 220 or 132 kV grid substation. So what is the role of the substations? Substations constitute of transmission system which interconnects the transmission circuits, transformation between networks of voltages, and they play the crucial role of maintaining the stability of the grid. So the generated power reaches from through the transmission system to the end user. Here, I consider the 33 kV, just as in DVC, as my experience is, 33 kV, major consumers are at 33 kV for DVC, and we are supplying power through these substations. Earlier, DVC is actually pioneer in making this transmission system in Eastern region. Earlier, our 132 kV grid was the ring main grid, as the generating stations were all at 132 kV. Then came the 220 kV generators, and the 220 kV grid came into being. So finally, now the 400 kV grid is also there, but our the takers of power, the industries, they take mostly from 220 kV by 33 kV or 132 by 33 kV substations. Okay. So substations form the nodal point of incoming and outgoing lines. It transforms the voltage, but its main role is to maintain the stability, because all the automation and control, it is there. So whenever the electrical system, as it is prone to threat of faults, so it is only at the substation that that control of isolating the faulty part, that is on the substation. So it is the heart of the transmission, grid. So before coming into the concept of making a new substation, we have to study the system, look at the generation load characteristics, how much is the fault MVA we have to know, but whether we have a surplus generation to supply to the new consumers, and whether the transmission line, that is having the capacity to carry the additional power. Successful operation of entire power system depends to a considerable extent on efficient and satisfactory performance of substations. It comprises of power transformer, switch gear, control, protection, monitoring, and automation equipment. So it is required to pay careful attention in planning, designing, and constructing substations, since its reliability directly affects power supply availability. So here we will consider a EHV MV substation, that is 220 by 132 and 33 kV voltage levels it will be having. So what are the criteria before starting our work? A developing load center has to be there in the nearby adjoining area. Availability of excess power has to be there, as discussed already. Capacity of the transmission lines and proximity to the grid. So grid, the lines has to pass through a nearby area where my land is for the substation. It has been assigned. We have to connect the existing grid. So the connection to the substation from the available lines, that has to be first looked at, and also the line corridor and right of way for taking out the feeders. These are the physical challenges we face before doing a substation. A lot of time we do not get permission from the concerned government regarding land and regarding the building a substation. So the challenges are always there for the industry. Now, what are the technical steps? We have to know the fault level by doing a system study. Accordingly, we will choose the equipment ratings. So to have the, for foundation requirement bearing capacity of the soil, that we have to look at. And connectivity, whether we should connect to 220 kV grid or we should connect to 132 kV grid. All these factors we have to take into consideration. To fix the maximum size of the substation, according to the land we have got and the number of bays, future requirement, technical, the demand of the industries in future, that we have to always consider, not only the present requirement, we have to look at the future requirement as well. Selection of switching scheme, busbar scheme. So at this level, I'm talking about, we normally have double main bus 1 and 2 and the transfer bus scheme to have the operational flexibility and system safety, reliability and availability. At 132 kV, we can do with 1 main and 1 transfer bus. A well-planned control room building is most essential to have the all operational control from there. So first we can accordingly prepare the single line diagram. Microsoft Edge. So I just wanted to show the students a sample single line diagram. না এটা একটা একটা করে আসবে তো ঠিক আছে so after drawing up a preliminary single line diagram before going for tendering activities, we prepared the bill of quantities to have an idea, to give the tenderer an idea about the requirements for the substation. The bus bars, circuit breakers, isolators, instrument transformers, lightning arresters, wave trap, support structure, hardware connector, insulator strings, etc. Now we have to look at the key factors for safety, reliability, and efficiency to be ensured. So proper layout of the bus, bay, and equipment. So diagram will not come in. The link will not work, no? Okay. Documents are there. But Microsoft Edge করেছিলাম তো ওই জন্য হচ্ছে না আপনি কি নরমালি দেখাচ্ছেন ফোল্ডারে আছে ফোল্ডার থেকে দেখানো যায় তাহলে আমি ওটা আলাদা ফাইলে আছে ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ কি করে করলে So as you can see here, the main bus 1 and main bus 2 of 220 kV, this is a Dhanbad substation, taken up in 2003, 2005-06. So we had used the line side cities. And 2 main and 1 transfer bus. So there are 2 power transformers, 220 by 33 kV power transformers, and 1 provision for 1 future transformer as well, and 2 auto transformers, 220 by 132 kV, 150 MVA, and some 132 kV feeders and 33 kV feeders. 33 kV is also having the 1 main and 1 transfer bus scheme. So after finalizing the layout, we have to maintain minimum ground clearance and sectional clearances for safety and the electrical operation. So proper technical specification of equipment now comes. I just brought some equipment specification as well, but they're all in separate files. Sorry, I cannot show them. So system earthing through transformer neutral. This is most vital part of the substation. All the EHV systems earlier in the primitive stage, it was they were not grounded. But for maintaining the system, we need to ground the neutral of the transformers so that we can allow the earthfall current and avoid the voltage rise in the system. Thank you. No, none of the links are working, sorry. So insulation coordination, then we have to look at, which allows the maintaining the devices so that we can have an optimization, how much insulation we should provide in an equipment like transformer, and how to avoid their damage when a lightning strike happens or some switching over voltage happens. So that is taken care by insulation coordination, how much insulation we will provide at the entry of the line. So we control that through by using surge arresters basically, which is placed very near to the transformer terminal. That way we can protect the transformer without having a very high price of the transformer, because we cannot take care of the over voltage in the system due to lightning or switching over voltage by increasing the normal insulation to a great extent. So that is a challenge. So now there are many standards available following those IEEE, IEC standards and the Indian standards also. We can consult them and choose our system, basic insulation level and the surge insulation level, switching insulation level. So because these wave fronts are a different type, even if a fault occurs on the transmission line that travels into the substation, and that may damage unless we provide this insulation coordination and lightning protection. So surge arresters are normally used for this purpose, and for direct lightning strokes, we use the lightning mast in the substation. Any direct lightning stroke, if it happens in the substation, that is taken care by the use of lightning mast. I'm sorry, the diagrams I took so many with me, but I cannot show them. I can send you later if you want. So protection against electrical and earthing. Earthing is also a major thing in the earthing mat is designed meticulously based on the first we have to see how much is the fault current and duration of the fault current. So accordingly, we have the soil resistivity test of the soil, and then using the available softwares, we design the earthing mat. So it should be very, it is normally made by having the rods connected with each other in a crisscross manner. I mean, a mat is formed using the MS rods of proper size, and the maximum voltage occurs at the peripheral area of the mat. So there the concentration of the rod is made higher to avoid any undesired happening. Safety of the personnel operating in the substation, that is the main concern here. And all the non-conducting parts are connected to the non-current carrying parts are connected to this earth mat for safety of the personnel. Protection against electrical faults through fastest clearing and auto reclose. So this is the major duty of the substation. So current transformers and potential transformers are chosen accordingly to cover all the fault conditions, and the protective relays are used for clearing the fault. Automation control and SCADA. These are must now for today's substation. We are using the intelligent electronic devices. What was previously known as relays, electromechanical, and then static, then numerical. Now we are using IEDs, and they are all connected to the automation system. So the mimic diagram that we used to see in the control panel previously, those are also gone now. In 220 kV panels, we are using all the control from such a console and the workstation. From there only we are controlling all the isolator operation, breaker operation, even tap changer control. Everything has come to the console. Adequate illumination of the switchyard must be provided in a substation to take care of maintenance work. Proper design of cable trenches. Separate trench for LT and HT cable should be provided. Proper choice of battery bank. Sorry. So here is a sample of the grounding mat.
Students, please stay for 20 more minutes to hear from Madam, because some technical glitches are there still. Madam is continuing. So please take this opportunity to enrich your knowledge and be here. That will not make a huge harm in your today's schedule. So please be here accompanied with your friends and peers so that this lecture will really help you. Please.
পিপিটিটা একটু দিন তো। আসলে আমি জুমে কাজ করিনি তো আগে।
না জুমটা নেই আর।
ও
আর এটা কোনটা চলছে?
এটাতে তো স্পেসিফিকেশন গুলো ছিল, কিন্তু লিংক গুলো তো কাজ করছে না। এটা দেখবো না, তো ইয়েতে যেতে হবে। না করবে না, আসছে না। এজ তো আছে, কি বলছে আমি বুঝতে পারছি না। লিঙ্কটা না কি করে দিন, আরেকবার করে দিন। এটা না পেছনেরটা কি করে যাব? এটা না, পেছনেরটা কি করে যাব? না, এখানে একটা আছে ডিজাইন অফ গ্রাউন্ডিং ম্যাট। ডিজাইন অফ গ্রাউন্ডিং ম্যাটটা কোথায় গেল? So this is the basic parameters chosen for this Dhanbad substation. Nominal system voltage for 220 kV, the highest system voltage should be 245 kV, and the basic insulation level chosen is 950 kV for transformer, and for other equipment it is 150 kV. Power factor withstand voltage for transformer, that is 395 kV, and creepage distance 6125 millimeter. And maximum fault current level is 40 kiloampere for 1 second. So these are the technical parameters chosen for this substation. Minimum clearance to be considered, that is for 220 kV, ground clearance is 2440. That is same for all. And the sectional clearance is which is required for the working of the maintenance staff. That is we keep 5,000 meter. Although as per CEA guideline, they are a bit lesser. But what we maintain in our substation is 220 kV level is 5,000 mm sectional clearance, and 132 kV it is 4,000 mm, and 33 kV 3,000 mm. So the safety is of paramount importance here at every stage, and the system operation, of course, which is taken care by the protection selectivity of the protection system. It should be sensitive, it should be selective, and it should be reliable. So now we are clearing the fault in around 100 milliseconds, that is 5 to 6 cycles maximum, using the numerical relays. And one more thing I wanted to show. The ArtMat design, some summary sheet I kept here for showing to the listeners. Here also we designed the mat for single line to ground fault current, 40 kiloampere for 1 second. Soil resistivity was found to be 40 ohm per meter at upper layer, and bottom layer 10.45 ohm meter. So accordingly, we chose the depth of the laying of the mat at 0.5 meter, and ground resistance, finally we got 0.02605 ohm using this design. Grid potential rise was within the maximum limit, and the touch voltage and step voltage, they were also within the limit. Approximate length of the earth grid conductor was found to be more than 17,000 mm, 17,000 meter. So for this whole substation. So it looks like this. You can see that at the peripheries portions, the density is higher of laying the rods. And for all the equipments, we take this connection through the flexible conductors, flexible strips to this rod. At least two connections to this earth mat from each of the marshalling kiosk and boxes. They are connected here for safety of the personnel, operative personnel. One more thing we use is that the isolated interlock scheme that is also related to safety of the grid. So we have, as we know that we have double main bus here. So bus 1 and bus 2, all the isolated, we cannot close together. So there has to have some circuit to control all these things. That earth switch is disconnected before closing the isolator, or the isolator is closed before closing the breaker. All these things we are taking care of by having interlock circuits. So role of civil engineers is very important in designing a substation. After finalizing the bay width, like 220 kV, we keep 16 meter from one bay, center line of one bay to the center line of the next bay. It is 16 meter normally. And for 132 kV, it is 12.5 meter. And for 33 kV, it is 6 meter. So preparing all these layouts, electrical layouts, it is followed by the foundation layout, which is prepared by electrical engineers, but ultimately foundations will be designed by the civil engineer. For that, the bearing capacity of the soil, we have already tested before. And now, after having the foundations, we have to put up the structures, and on the structures are mounted the equipment. The control room building shall be suitably located to have a clear view of the entire switchyard. Size of the building should be sufficient to house all the control, protection, and monitoring and automation systems and their auxiliaries. The control room should be properly cooled, because all the microprocessor-based equipments are housed in the control room. So the cooling system design is a part of the substation as well. So there are many things you can do. Although there are standards, there are guidelines, but you have flexibility of doing things at your own way. In many steps, I also took liberty of making some new design, like current transformer. We used to have only 5 ampere city or 1 ampere city. So when we standardize that for 33 kV, we will use only 5 ampere relays, and 132 and 220 kV, we will use 1 ampere relay. But for differential protection, you have to match what is differential protection of a transformer? It matches the high voltage side current to the low voltage side current. If there is any mismatch, it assumes that there is a fault within the transformer winding, because those CTs are placed very close to the transformer. So only the winding is in question. So for differential protection, the CTs are to be matched. So accordingly, I chose one new CT where, because how a CT is designed, there is a coil wound over a round core. So over the core, it is not essential that I have to have only 5 ampere windings as secondary. I can have both of them together. So deviating from all the standard norms, I talked to the city manufacturer, and they said, yes, why not? We can make 5 ampere and 1 ampere in the same city. So for 33 kV system, I used this 5 ampere, 1 ampere common city. So that reduced the number of cities actually, and space also could be managed. It became economic also. So one core I used for differential protection, the other cores for 33 kV overcurrent and for other protections, whatever is required. So there is room for improvement, and you can always go out of the way for some improvement. There is always scope for improvement. In building a substation, there are numerous scope for having your own design. So whenever you do such a big project on your own, you have to face some challenge also sometimes, because in my first substation, where 220 kV Ramgarh substation when I was making, so when the power transformer reached the site, while dragging to the foundation point, it got overturned and it got damaged in the process, and then it was sent again to the factory and back to the, then after repair only it could be installed and commissioned. So there will be such exigencies which you have to face. Sometimes there is some mistake in the wiring, like city neutral, the direction of relay gets reversed. Those things are to be set right by trial and error method. So I think I have covered the most pertinent points about design of a substation. I am not going into the technical details because today I am not so much prepared. So I think I will conclude here itself. Thank you so much for your patience.